Because I'm sure on September 6, 2017, everything changed, right?
Yes, everything changed drastically on that day, and I mean we had to show up and work despite all three of us losing our roofs at home too, or the at least getting damaged to our houses. We had to show up, and we did. We came out, and I think Iris was even injured in her hand, and she came out, and we really worked straight through. I think until ending of January, before we caught on that, you know, we were just working straight through.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to get the people back up. We wanted to get the community back online and get St. Martin's economy back up and running.
And I think I must say a lot of people made reference to the remarkable job that was done by all of you and the entire team at GEBE, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and we appreciate it very much.
And we can't thank the workers enough.
Yeah.
I guess with the experience of having Lois, GEBE have the hurricane plan in place, and I guess that made it easier that after the storm, you didn't have to really go running. The people came out because they know what it means. They know what it means for us to get this island up and running as quick as possible.
Yeah, GEBE is a monopoly. I can't run to go nowhere else to buy electricity. I got to buy it from GEBE. So it's a chilling decision. Which one? Who's going to take that one? Yeah.
After September 6, 2017, GEBE was the best thing on the island until October, November, when the bills came out shortly after that. It caused some confusion. But I think people realize that as well, too, that we are fair as a company. And some may have a different view of it, but we try our best to be fair with our customers and meet our customers' needs. Our main focus going forward now is our customers, because we realize that we have some shortcomings and they have to be taken care of.
Yeah. We know that we have challenges. We have a whole lot of challenges right now. There are some areas on the island, they know about the weekends that they might not get water when they open their pipes. And we're asking people to bear with us. People don't realize, because they see GEBE back up and so fast after the storm, but they don't realize that how hard we got hit ourselves. I mean, you could just look at our main building there, that it's still, we're getting ready now for demolition, but it's still there, dilapidated from the hurricane. But look at our tanks. We had to demolish a number of tanks. Right now, we have to build 9 tanks, and it's not something easy. One tank alone is over 2 million guilders. So we have tried our best to help the community and the island, but now we have to focus on helping ourselves to make sure that our grid is back up, and not only the water grid, but also the electricity grid. People are complaining about the outages, the frequent outages, but you have to look at us. We have a grid that was so unstable with so many houses out, so the cables were laid for a certain amount, and then it doesn't carry that, and then all of a sudden then it carries so much again, and so much instability in the grid, and we have been experiencing some faults on the ground, faults in the cables. So a lot on the distribution side, whereas before it used to be an engine goes down, now we had something like 6 faults in the past month. So we are faced with challenges now too. So we are doing the best we can with the limited resources. Soon as Iris gives some money, I get some tanks, and we get also we get our electricity grid stabilized, and we're asking the people to have some patience with us.
And I guess that's something I want to join with what Ms. Jansen mentioned. No one will know what it was at times when because remember we lost about 35% after the storm of our revenue. So there are times that, you know, you might want to do things, but you know, I can't do that, because you know what's a fixed cost where you have to meet every month. You have to meet your employee costs every month. You cannot say, no, I don't have the money to pay my employees. So you have to put aside certain things. There are certain times we have to tell some of our main suppliers, can't pay you right now. I'm just waiting to see the money come in first. But I'm happy to say we have overcome that period. Of course, we still have a lot to do, but we gauge our funds. We will never allow the company to reach the extent where that we won't have any more cash. So we gauge it in such a way that Yes, we know that we have our situation because I'm one of the people who's nearly every weekend without water. So I'm one of them, but even so, I understand what we're going through. So we have to wait until we know we have sufficient cash flow that we can do certain things. And I think we are handling that pretty well, and soon Ms. Jansen will have her thanks.
So the destruction of the hotels, that had quite an impact on the revenues?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are our large consumers, no? They account for a great deal of our revenue. And like one of the things what we did is right after we tried to find out from them when they're going to get back. And all indications from since then were that till at the end of 2019 going into 2020. And it really looking that way. And it looked like we're even going to go a little longer. But I can say now we are seeing some improvements. We see our revenue start to increase. So that's a good sign. So as the revenues increase, then we'll be able to do more repairs and get our grid more stable. If I look at maybe persons who cannot afford to buy all those inverter, air conditions and everything, but I think one of the big problems what we're seeing is that we had a hurricane. A lot of people, some lost their jobs, some maybe they're not getting the full pay anymore. So even though the bills might not be high, for them it's still considered high because electricity is something that you cannot do without. It's a must. And because a must, people would like that bill to be as low as possible. But no matter which way we turn it, it does take an investment to get electricity. And the fuel that GEBE have to purchase, GEBE doesn't make the fuel. We have to purchase that fuel monthly to turn those engines. So that's something we really cannot do away with. But I think maybe one of the things what Ms. Jansen and Mr. Chitte can talk about, how we're looking towards the future to try and mitigate that whole part with the fuel. Maybe that's something what they can talk about.
We want to touch on that.
If I may look at the bills itself, compared to the bills in the region, the Caribbean region, we are not high. GEBE bills are in the middle in the whole region. I know some islands is quite low. For example, Trinidad, they have fuel, the bills are low. There are some islands, for example, Dominica, they are much higher in their bills than GEBE.
St. Thomas.
And Anguilla is a bit higher as well too than GEBE. So to say it's high, you have to compare with something. And if you look at the region, we're not high. What we're looking to reduce our bills is by going to LNG, which is liquid natural gas. This is much cheaper than fossil fuel, the heavy fuel we use right now.
Yeah. And
it's also a plus on our equipment, less maintenance, less wear and tear. We also save on an overhaul period, especially because instead of overhaul every year and a half, we overhaul every 3 years, for example. So some huge savings. And this savings also pass back on to the customers as well. We also looking to get our solar park going again. We have plans for this. It start off with 2 megawatt. Once this is on, we can expand from there, and they should bring some savings as well.
Well, you know, one thing what I've realized being in this position here now is that I have to respect all those elders who were in those positions before us. It was always too much for one person. Because if we see the three of us here and how much work each of us have, I really wonder how one person used to handle that. It's no wonder many things couldn't be accomplished, because it was just too much for one person to manage a company of that magnitude.
And you know, when you look now at the company, 18, 19 months later, how you all feel?
Well, I will say I every day up to today, I tell Mr. Chitte, I feel good. I think we have done a lot. We have been through the worst storm, and when I see what all we could have accomplished, maintaining our cash flow on a steady flow, I am happy and contented about it. But there's one thing I want to say, you know, in these functions, you're not there permanent. We're on a contract. This is our 3rd year, so we are reaching, our contract will come to an end at the end of October. And the company is just on the verge of making that change, because GEBE have been through so many hurdles. So I'm just saying, if we get an opportunity to make that turn, GEBE will be the company that people will be happy to have in the next years to come.
Well, I think it's important for people to recognize that you just can't change captain out in the ocean.
Yes.
So there's a lot of work to be done, and you have to continue like that. And to prove yourself, you're going to have to do it. No, 2 or 3 years is not sufficient.
And with a hurricane that we had.
Exactly.
In the last 12 years, we have 10 different leaderships in GEBE. In the last 12 years.
And that's quite
not good for the company.
Definitely not good. Not
Sure
good.
not.
Yeah. And that's why there needs to be some form of continuity,
Yes.
where you have people, and also for what I realize in big companies like GBE is the staff, the workers, employees. For them, people don't realize what it does to them. It also hurts to
Yes.
be constantly
Yes,
switching and changing management. You know?
Stability is always important.
Yeah, yeah. So I hope that at least you get a chance, all of you get a chance to really make the changes that you want to make, because I know Mr. Chittick was speaking about the plans for renewable, and you, Ms. Johnson, and also Arundel. So things looking good.
I would just like to ask again the public to have a bit of patience with us, have patience with our workers. We will try to provide the best service that we can. Hopefully you will see an improvement in the service, and if not, we have a number that you can call, 546-1100, and please let us know of any leaks, let us know of anything with the service, anything that we can improve, because we are there to improve and give you better service.
I want to sincerely thank the previous board of directors for choosing this team here to be here at GEBE today at the helm. It was some nice times, some less nice times, but those less nice times were times whereby I personally reflect and say, thank God those were there, because it made me stronger as a person today.
Yeah.
It challenged me as well to do more soul searching, do more research in the company, and so I can improve the company as a whole. And with that as a basis, I can move forward tomorrow and continue taking GEBE to the future.
I just want to tell St. Martin thanks, and I want to say we are here to serve you. That's why we are called the power to serve, and we will continue to serve you to the best of our ability. That's my closing statement.